Good afternoon, welcome to Techorama, the Netherlands. First of all, please introduce yourself.
Thanks for the welcome. I am Arjen Roy. I am the tech lead for Cloud Native Development on Azure for Capgemini. And I'm one of the speakers at the conference today.
Do you work for Capgemini here in the Netherlands or abroad?
Yes, I do work for the Capgemini in the Netherlands, yeah.
Very nice. And you talking about, you did a session already. What was your session about?
So my session was about GraphQL, the API for modern applications, and how you could build a GraphQL API in .NET.
Wow, and is that something you can explain in only an hour time? Because that sounds complicated.
Yes, it is complicated. You can, of course, instill the idea so people get thinking about it, something that's very well known in the JavaScript world. How does that fit in .NET? So that's the concept, but we are also, the idea is trying to get more .NET developers embrace this technology and build more modern apps using this new API standard. So that is the aim of the session.
And what is the number one feature in this concept, why you would advise everybody to use it in their coding?
The biggest, let's say, the upsell of GraphQL is that unlike REST APIs, you have very flexible query and response model. So every client talking to one endpoint could just send different queries to the server and get back responses based on whatever they ask for. So a client could need, let's say, from an object, let's say 10 properties. Mm-hmm. Another client could need just 5, and they could still do 2 separate queries, and they would only get back the information they require. So the whole idea is, it's what we call in GraphQL world exact fetching. So we are not overfetching or underfetching, we are getting back exactly what we need. So that's the cool part about it. And talking of modern applications, performance, and about speed, this is just taking it to the next level.
Well, and do you as a developer have to specify what information you need, or does GraphXL help you with it?
As the server developer, you are in control of what you expose, so you still sort of have a contract. But the client has the flexibility, so the client is more in control of what it consumes and how it consumes. So the server is more superfluous, it's bigger, and then the client sort of work flexibly to pick and choose whatever they need from that server. And the cool part is they only interact with one endpoint for every information that they need. So no going to one product API, one let's say user API, or some other API. Just one API serves it all.
That sounds very strong. What's your opinion about Techorama so far?
The whole Las Vegas team really was exciting as we walked in this morning, because with all the casino theming all around, the chips and the dollar bills or whatever was being handed over, that was like super welcome. And then looking at the screens, big screens, big audiences. Really, as presenters, it really gives us a lot of more enthusiasm to present our sessions.
Wow, and talking about the team, I heard rumors that Elvis was spotted here in the building. Did you spot him?
Oh, I don't know, but maybe he left the building.
Well, thank you so much for coming here, and we hope to see you again.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Good afternoon. Welcome, Eric, to Techorama. What brings you here? Or let me start with the more important questions. Can you introduce yourself short?
My name is Eric Darling. I am an independent SQL Server consultant. My specialty is performance tuning, and the name of my company is Eric Darling Data. It's not on the speaker card, but that's okay.
Well, we can put it in show notes for the rest of the people to.
That's Eric with a K, like.
Eric with a K. Yeah. Do you got it, Marcel? Yeah, you got it.
Thank you. He looks professional.
Yeah, he does. So we'll put it in the show notes.
Cool.
I already talked a little bit with you. So you're having 2 sessions here at Techorama.
Sure, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So this morning I did a talk of mine called the SQL Server Performance Tuning Tasting Menu, and it's sort of just a bunch of demos that things that are currently going on that I've been working on with clients or something that I think are interesting from a performance tuning perspective. It's sort of like a restaurant tasting menu where I'm just kind of going doing some things that I think are interesting, and hopefully everyone else does too.
So, and that was, how was that? A lot of people in your session?
Yeah, it was full. There were people sitting in the aisles. The seats were full. I gave away a lot of stickers. It was a lot of fun.
So they came for the stickers or for your content?
Hard to tell. Conferences, stickers are big at conferences. You can never have too many.
So you have to come to your sessions for more stickers. Yeah. But you're giving one more session today?
I am, yeah. About just about 45 or so minutes. I'm giving a talk called Defeating Parameter Sniffing with Dynamic SQL. It's just about a notoriously hard database problem to solve, and just some solutions that I've come up for it with over the years.
Well, I know this is a very difficult trick question,
yes.
But
oh boy,
oh man, here it is.
Making me nervous.
Which of the two do you like more?
Which of the two do I like more? Boy, you know what? The parameter sniffing one is a little bit newer, so I like that one a little bit better because the content feels like brand new and fresh to me. The earlier one about performance tuning, I've been doing that one for a while, and it's evolved, and I always switch new demos and stuff in. But the parameter sniffing one is newer, so I'm a little bit more keen on that. It's a little bright and shiny for me.
So that's probably the one you get more trick questions on.
You know what? I get a lot of trick questions no matter where I go. People love to play Stump the Chump with the SQL Server guy, especially at these developer conferences.
Well, not us. We know definitely we need people like you, because databases are not my forte.
No, they're a tough thing to deal with. That's why I'm on blood pressure medication. It's a lot of other stuff.
Well, how do you like the conference so far?
It's been great. This is actually my first Techorama. Really excited to be here. I had a full day workshop yesterday, so that was really nice. Got to sit in a room and talk about SQL Server performance the whole day, and that was really fun.
Wow, nice. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference here as well. And one final question.
Hit me with it.
Well, there are rumors that Elvis is seen here somewhere. Did you already spot him?
So I haven't seen Elvis, but I think I smelled him.
Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a whiff of something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye out on that. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with your session this afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Goedemiddag. Dag Yves.
Goedemiddag, dag Marcel.
Was u weer. Daar was u weer.
Dat was het.
Hoe is het met u? Wie bent u? Wat doet u hier? En wat doe je normaal?
Ja, met mij is alles goed. Hè. Ik kom uit België hier naar Nederland om te spreken morgen om 8:45 in zaal 1 over offline capable progressive web apps. En de talk zal gaan eigenlijk over een combinatie van twee dingen die ik belangrijk vind. Dus enerzijds ben ik professioneel een softwarearchitect, ik ontwerp software. Maar anderzijds ben ik ook een lid van een basketbalclub. Ik ben daar een deel van het management, zo gezegd. En een van de grote uitdagingen die wij hebben gehad in de afgelopen 2 jaren, met de COVID en zo, is dat wij eigenlijk heel veel moeite hebben moeten doen om nog aan fundraisers te kunnen doen. Omdat in het verleden kwamen ze gewoon bij ons een maaltijd nuttigen en betaalden ze on the spot. Maar natuurlijk hebben we dat 2 jaar niet meer mogen doen. We hebben geen honderden mensen meer in een zaal mogen zetten om spaghetti te eten. Dus hebben we een oplossing moeten vinden. En de regels die de Belgische overheid had opgedragen is dat de maaltijden wel nog geleverd mochten worden, onder voorwaarde dat ze geleverd werden door een traiteur en voorverpakt waren en dat we ze buiten moesten afleveren. En dat is eigenlijk het scenario waar we in zitten. We hebben 2 jaar lang eigenlijk onze fundraisers digitaal moeten doen. Ook cashgeld was verboden voor een tijd. Dus heb ik in heel snel tempo een ordersysteem moeten bouwen waar dat onze leden dan via een digitale betaling hun spaghetti's konden bestellen op voorhand en betalen. Dat wij dan op het moment van de levering zelf buiten in de regen of in de vrieskou eigenlijk die spaghetti's moesten gaan afleveren. Nu, ik woon niet echt in een heel stedelijk gebied, dus ook buiten kan je eigenlijk er niet op vertrouwen dat je een deftige internetverbinding hebt. En vandaar komt dan het idee om een progressive web app te gaan bouwen die dan ook nog eens offline capable is. Ja, en dat was toch wel ietsje moeilijker dan ik dacht dat het was. Dus een gewone app bouwen die een connectie heeft met zijn backend, of een gewone website bouwen die een connectie heeft, is vrij makkelijk. Maar van het moment dat je x aantal uren offline echt moet jouw werk kunnen doen en dan 4 of 5 uur later terug al jouw wijzigingen kunt synchroniseren met die backend, waar dan in parallel ook nog eens wijzigingen gebeurd zijn, en dat je die wijzigingen weer gaat moeten samenvoegen, daar zal eigenlijk heel de taak over gaan.
Maar hoe doe je dat dan met de betaling? Want die is wel online.
Dus die betaling is op voorhand moeten gebeuren. Dus die hebben we via de website van de sportclub laten gebeuren en niet via de app die we gebruikt hebben voor de aflevering. Ja. Dus mensen konden niet meer betalen op het moment aan de dingen van aflevering. Of als ze dan betalen, zou het dan toch nog via we hebben zo een app die noemt Payconic. Daarmee kan je met telefoon tegen telefoon kan je nog betalen. Dus dat hadden we ook nog als optie. Maar we hadden eigenlijk wel verwacht dat iedereen op voorhand zijn betaling gedaan heeft.
Dus dat is wat iedereen mist. Als je hier niet bent, dan heb je dit gemist.
Ja, dus ik ga het hebben over enerzijds over hoe dat je met jouw eigen gestructureerde data kan werken. Dat is 1 helft van de presentatie ongeveer. En de andere helft zijn gewoon de gotchas die je hebt in browsers van hoe detecteer ik of ik nu daadwerkelijk wel online of offline ben. Daar zijn wat problemen mee. Bijvoorbeeld als je een slechte verbinding hebt of je zit in airplane mode en zo. Allemaal een beetje anders om te detecteren of je effectief aan het internet kan. Ik leg ook uit hoe er een Google library is die je voor heel veel use cases al kan helpen. Zoals bijvoorbeeld het opslaan van de files die je nodig hebt in je website. Ook voor de volgende pagina's al te gaan halen en op voorhand op te slaan. Dus dat zal dan het tweede luik zijn van de presentatie.
Ik denk namelijk dat de use case wel vaker voorkomt. En zeker in wat afgelegen gebieden. Dus het klinkt als een interessante sessie.
De use case komt eigenlijk ook niet alleen maar voor met frontends. Het komt ook in backends voor. Als je partitionering krijgt, bijvoorbeeld in een Azure-omgeving met meerdere datacentra die elk hun eigen ding aan het doen zijn, om dan later de data terug samen te kunnen voegen. Dus de design patterns die ik gebruikt heb, kan je ook nog op andere punten gaan toepassen.
Eigenlijk wordt die opgenomen, dat is dan de volgende vraag die iedereen stelt.
Denk het niet.
Dan kom je vast wel weer in een ander event weer terug om het nog een keer te doen.
Ja, absoluut. Het is de 4e keer dat ik de talk doe en ik ga hem zeker nog een paar keer doen.
Fijn, dan kan ik hem ook een keer echt zien.
Goed, doen we.
Dankjewel voor aanwezig zijn en wat vind je van Techorama?
Ik heb nog nooit een editie gemist, dus voor mij is het super.
Jij bent een van de beginners, toch?
Ja, ik ken eigenlijk de organisatoren. We zijn ooit collega's geweest in het jaar 2005. En Techorama is een beetje voortgevloeid uit een usergroep uit België, die heette Visug. En ik was er bij de allereerste Visug-editie in de CompuWare offices in Zaventem in België. En daaruit is dit hele evenement gegroeid met duizenden mensen die komen. Het is echt prachtig om te zien hoe dat er gegroeid is.
Dat kleine eventje groot geworden is. Ten opzichte van...
eventje groot geworden is, dat is echt prachtig om te zien.
Net alsof het een klein kind is wat gegroeid.
Het is ook zo, het is ondertussen 15 jaar oud denk ik. Of zo.
En een belangrijke vraag die wij hebben, heb je Elvis gezien?
Vandaag nog niet, nee. Vandaag heb ik Elvis nog niet gezien.
Ja, wij ook nog niet, maar we zien wat mensen met glitterdingen aankomen, maar voor de rest?
Ik heb hem nog niet gezien, ik heb alleen de robotversie gezien vandaag.
Dankjewel en tot de volgende keer.
Graag gedaan.
Hoi.
Welcome, Guy, here at Techorama NL. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Who are you? What company are you working for? What you're doing here at Techorama?
Yeah, my name's Guy Royce. I'm a developer advocate at Redis, actually. And I have talks about Redis, surprisingly. But I mean, it's not just Redis. There's a lot of beefy content around there. And a lot of what I do is I go to events and I speak about cool things and inject a little bit of Redis so that I can pay the bills. But I mostly just like cool tech things and interesting, weird corners of technology and fun-themed things. And so I guess what I do is I try to create fun and I try to teach and entertain at the same time by creating fun topics that are kind of introductions or deep dives into things, but just with fun themes.
Well, probably when you're using fun, the subject keeps at the top of the minds of people more than when it's a boring talk, right?
Yeah, that's the entire idea.
Okay.
Well, it's more fun to give a talk that's got a humorous or entertaining element as well,
Yeah.
and you get a laugh out of the audience, and that always feels good. But it also they're engaged. They're going along with the story.
Well, and you told me you have a session today and you have a session tomorrow. Let's first talk about your session for today. What's your session for today about?
So my session today is called So You Think You Know Redis, the game show where you can win fabulous prizes, which are crappy American candy bars, and by answering random Redis trivia questions. And so I go through and I got like questions about different data structures and if you do this command, what happens and that sort of stuff. The point of it is to have a little fun, of course, but to kind of get into corners of Redis that might be a little confusing or people might misunderstand, and just kind of dive in a little bit and scratch beneath the surface of what people usually use Redis for.
Well, is this also interesting for people who don't use Redis at this moment?
Yeah, it's actually very accessible if you're not a Redis aficionado as well. So a lot of the things I cover, the questions are kind of hard, but the topics behind them are, I cover the basics as well as diving into the deep.
But are they able to win prizes then as well, or have to do an educated guess?
I actually think my questions are hard enough that by process of elimination, someone will eventually win a candy bar.
Okay, that's great, that's great. So that's what they're missing out on today, but you're also giving a session tomorrow. What are people missing if they don't visit your session for tomorrow?
So tomorrow's talk is called Understanding Probabilistic Data Structures with 112,092 UFO sightings.
Did you count them all individually?
Well, the internet did.
So you didn't verify, you're just trusting the internet on this one?
Well, I have a CSV file with 112,092 entries in it. So I actually did look at so Visual Studio Code counted them for me.
Good enough for me. It's good enough for me. And with this, with all those, what's the aim at that session tomorrow?
Well, the main aim is just to show to developers what probabilistic data structures are, because most people have never heard of them. And they're these really interesting data structures that are kind of like a TARDIS. They're bigger on the inside than they are on the outside. They work by hashing data down and compressing it, so that you can get very large numbers of things in these data structures with very little space, but at the trade-off of inaccuracy. So, for example, you could have a set of like all of the usernames that someone might have used, and the data structure will sometimes lie and say this username's taken when it's not. But it'll only do that like 2% of the time, and so if you have a billion usernames, that's a totally acceptable performance trade-off. So you can scale really big and get good O of 1 operations against those structures, while still and sacrificing just a little bit of accuracy.
Well, that sounds really, really interesting.
They are really, really cool, actually.
Well, it sounds really like they're missing out on something. And what's your impression of Techorama? Did you visit the Techorama before?
This is my second Techorama. I did Techorama Netherlands in 2019 when it was in Veenendaal. And this is my second one. I actually like this venue a lot better. The other venue was great, but the Vegas theme is a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. I won candy.
So not only in your session, but you won candy here as well.
Yeah, it's a candy for everyone.
Well, there's one final question that's more interesting from the point of view of us, because we're sitting here in this corner, but we get reports that Elvis has been spotted in this building. Did you see him?
I haven't, but I thought I heard him earlier.
Okay.
And I did hear someone request a bacon, peanut butter, and banana sandwich.
That must be him. That must be him. Well, thank you so much. Great having you here, and enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, welcome to Techorama NL. We're at the second day. I did try to read your name, but it's hard to pronounce. So please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jiří Chinchura, and I will be speaking here today on Techorama in Netherlands.
And what company are you from?
No, I'm working as a one-man show.
Can you tell me a little bit about your session later today?
Yes, my session is about source generators in C#, which is kind of a new feature. It's been in a C# for a few versions, so it's not brand new, and it kind of fills the gap for programming when you don't want to type on your keyboard, because the machine will generate the code for you. So it helps with scenarios where you would type repetitive code, let's say, or something that you can pre-generate from some definition, like a JSON file or header files or something like that.
But do you have to fill those definitions yourself, or are there predefined sources you can load for that as well?
Well, the source generators are usually written by somebody else, so it depends on what's available on the market or on the internet. So you might be lucky if your case is common enough that you will find that somebody else already wrote the source generator, and you will just feed in the definition, the files, and everything else will be generated. If you are unlucky, you might need to write it yourself, and then you will benefit from it, and then you can publish it and somebody else might benefit from it.
And do you use a specific tool for that, or is that now available in .NET? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a normal C# code. You don't need to install any extra tools, anything like that. You just write your library and you can publish it to NuGet. Somebody else can download it. It's a standard C# .NET project, nothing fancy.
And are there ones you like in particular and use often?
Yeah, there's one that was published recently directly by Microsoft, and it's for regular expressions, pre-generating regular expressions, because the regular expressions can work in basically two ways. The first one is kind of interpreted, which means the regular expression engine is parsing your definition and executing it as it goes. The benefit is that it's like just in time, so there's no extra time that's needed to process it, but it's a little bit slower. The other one is that you pre-compile your regular expression, which means you spend a little bit time at the beginning, but then it's faster to execute. And with the source generator, you can do this as part of your compilation on your machine, and then you are just having the benefit of having the speed.
So, wow, that sounds really interesting. So, do you want to give your audience after they leave the session? Do you want them to go and try it themselves, or?
Yes, my goal is to teach the audience to write a source generator, or at least start writing, and also give them ideas what's available at the moment, or what's possible to do with the source generators, and the most interesting ones to show them so they can start immediately using them.
Very nice. I know that you only arrived today, but what do you think of Techorama so far?
Yeah, it's nice. I've already been in Belgium edition, so I kind of know what to expect, and I like it. It's a big conference, a lot of people, and a lot of options to talk with people and discuss different problems, and this is what I think the conference, or any conference, is about, like talking with people and experiencing different problems and thinking about different problems when the people ask you questions.
Well, very nice. We are really glad to have you here in the Netherlands, and we hope to see you in next editions as well.
Thank you. I will be glad to be here next year.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Well, good morning, Chris. Welcome to Techorama. You've been here since yesterday. Tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What company do you work for? And so on.
Yeah, cool. So my name is Chris Sainty. I'm a .NET developer, been a .NET developer for about 17 years now. I work for a company called Deployed. So we're a startup, distributed startup now as the modern world is. So we don't have a physical location, we're all over the place. So that's really exciting. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, been an MVP for 4 years now. I've written a book that got published this year, so Blazor in Action for Manning, so that got published this year, and also do a load of open source work. So I have some packages under an organisation called Blazored, and as a fun fact, we just passed 6 million downloads. So
wow.
That's kind of a really cool milestone. I never expected.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I never expected that to happen. So that's both. Amazing and slightly terrifying that 6 million people are running my code. So I need to add more tests.
Oh, so I don't think I need to ask you where your session is about. It must be Blazor, right?
That's right, yeah. So yesterday, my session was called Building Beautiful Blazor Apps with Tailwind CSS. So in the session, I talk a bit about what Tailwind is, because Tailwind is sort of gaining a lot of popularity now, becoming kind of very mainstream as an alternative to sort of more traditional component frameworks like Bootstrap. So spent a bit of time explaining what that was. And then we kind of move into real practical stuff. So we have about 40 minutes of live coding where I show you how to integrate Tailwind into a Blazor application. We look a little bit at what it's like to actually program with it, and apply these styles and how that is. And then we go into more fun stuff. So we build out a component that creates some animations. And how that works, the mix of Tailwind and Blazor's features to create that, and we don't use any JavaScript to do that. It's all C# code, and it's pretty cool. And then of course, because you can't do this in modern design anymore, we have to talk about dark mode. So we talk about dark mode, how we can do dark mode with Tailwind, and then we build a little toggle component that can switch between light mode and dark mode and persist the user's choice between visits to the application. So that's what the talk was about. People seem to enjoy it. It seemed to go down well, so that's good.
Very nice, very nice. You already compared it a little bit to Bootstrapper. If you now start a new project, which of the ones you would prefer? Which you use?
That's a difficult question. So I tell people use whichever one you get on with best. They're very different approaches. So with Bootstrap, you're using pre-made components. You go on the Bootstrap documentation site and you want a button, and it shows you what a button looks like, and you copy that code and put it in your app, and that's exactly what you get. But something like Tailwind doesn't come with any pre-made components. It's all about composing styles together to create your own look. And for people who don't want something that maybe looks as generic or looks as similar to other things, Tailwind's a really good option because you can customize things really easily and create more unique looks and more unique feels to your application. So it really comes down to that, whether you like doing a bit of design work and trying out things and customizing things, or whether you are more about kind of more of a quick result and more like some pre-made look and feel stuff. Yeah.
Very interesting. So, to be honest, I think people missed out on your session yesterday. If I hear what you're talking about.
Maybe, yeah. We had a good few people in there, so that was good. But yeah. If you did miss it, then sorry.
Well, you did enjoy Techorama the whole day yesterday. How do you think Techorama? What vibe does it give you?
Oh, I love Techorama. So I was lucky I also spoke at Techorama in Antwerp earlier in the year as well, and it's always a fantastic experience there, especially as a speaker. They really take care of us as speakers. I'm walking away today with my own movie poster, which I never thought that was ever going to happen. So I'm really happy about that. But the effort that goes in, all the details, the theme, the Las Vegas theme is just amazing. And I just think the team do an amazing job, and it's such a great conference for everyone. Great speakers, just really, really good.
Talking about the Las Vegas team, it's still early today, but yesterday I heard rumors that Elvis was in the building. Did you manage to spot him yesterday?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't see that, unfortunately. No. Man. I have to keep my eyes out today.
Yeah. Maybe you even spot him before you leave today. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for speaking to us and to the folks here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Cheers.